हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। क्लाइमेट रिस्क इंश्योरेंस, वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन, प्रोजेक्ट चीता, टाइगर रिजर्व एंड एशियाटिक एलिफेंट, इन सब के बारे में आज हम लोग इस वीडियो में पढ़ने वाले हैं। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं। हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। तो आज हम लोग बात करने वाले हैं क्लाइमेट रिस्क इंश्योरेंस की। विद लूमिंग क्लाइमेट एब्रेशन, द टाइम फॉर इंट्रोड्यूसिंग अ क्लाइमेट रिस्क इंश्योरेंस इन द कंट्री हैज़ कम। द कंट्री incurs losses to the tune of around $10 billion annually due to extreme weather events, where about 80% Indians remain uninsured. It is an important tool for providing security against loss of livelihoods and asset as a consequence of disaster. And this is of great significance, especially for the farm community, which mainly faces the risk of weather variability and the uncertainty of crop yields. The magnitude and intensity of the same being higher in India, as an overwhelming majority of farmers contributing significantly to the economy and the livelihood depends on farming and have extremely limited means and resources to cope with disaster consequence of crop failure. It is high time for such an insurance. Driven by agriculture and the process of development, natural, that is primary forests, are increasingly being converted into secondary forests, inviting an increased risk of new infectious disease, which also needs to include in the climate risk resources. Agriculture insurance in the country is very challenging because of large number of small and scattered land holdings, varying climate and soil conditions, lack of basic data, and a variety of agricultural practices, making it practically impossible to implement the scheme on a wide scale. Further, there is widespread lack of knowledge about the nature and the functions of crop insurance among us the farmers, a majority of whom are illiterate and poor. The Weather Index Insurance for Agriculture, introduced in 2013, did not find much success as it suffered from complex processes, moral hazard, adverse selection, and low penetration of institutional credit. Studies suggest moving towards parametric insurance that agrees to make payment on just the occurrence of climate event, data for which are easily accessible. Further, the use of climate information services could also be useful. And the example of Karnataka State Natural Disaster Monitoring Centers, Varuna Mitra, which has not been only benefited 3.5 lakhs farmers through its weather advisories but also provides data to insurers at panchayat scale to improve payouts to farmers. It is a case in points. Let's talk about the green bonds. Green bonds raises funds as loans for investment in environmentally sustainable and climate suitable projects. With growing focus on environmentally sustainable projects, these bonds have become widely accepted and popular over the last few years and help raise funds at lower cost in comparison to the regular bonds. Major countries such as UK, France, Germany and USA, China has already raised funds through it. As per IMF, during 2021, a total fund of around 620 billion US dollar was raised across the world through green bonds. As per the data of SEBI, 15 Indian corporate issued green bonds of value 4,539 crore during 2017 to 22. In keeping with ambition to reduce the carbon intensity of the economy, the Union Budget 2022 to 23 announced the issue of sovereign green bonds. Accordingly, the RBI issued India's first sovereign green bonds of 5-year and 1-year maturity in two tranches and raised a total of 16,000 crores. Subscription was open for non-resident too. Over time, the sovereign green bonds would provide a pricing reference for private sector entities for their domestic borrowings through environment, social and governance bonds. Let's talk about the wildlife protection. India has a rich heritage of wildlife and a long history and tradition of conservation. The concern for wildlife is indeed the concern for the man himself. All forms of life, human, animal, and plants, are so closely interlinked that disturbance in one lead to an imbalance in others. Animals such as tigers, lions, and elephants are keystone and flagship species whose preservation benefits the entire ecosystem. As of August 2020, the state of these animals in the country was given below. Tiger Reserve India was home to 55 tiger reserves, two added in 2023, covering approximately 70,735.6 square kilometer area in 18 states. With about 75% of the wild tiger population at the global level, India achieved the goal of doubling the tiger numbers in 2028, 4 years before the targeted year 2022. Asiatic lions. The population of the Asiatic lions has shown a steadily increase with a population of 674 individuals in 2022, 356 by 2023. 105 died in 2021 and 110 in 2022 and 103 in 2023. Leopards India now 2020 according to the 2020 reports data has 13,874 2022 survey leopards compared to the previous estimate of 12,852 conducted in 2024. Asiatic elephants. As per the latest census of 2017, India is home to 29,964 Asiatic elephants, which is around 60% of Asiatic elephants, which has worldwide population of 50 to 60,000. Projects Cheetah. India began introduction of cheetah in the country under Projects Cheetah and the world's first intercontinental large wild carnivore translocation projects. Cheetah was declared extinct from India in 1952. Under the scheme, 8 Namibian wild cheetahs were introduced in Kuno National Park, Madhya Pradesh. And the project is part of long series of measures for ensuring sustainability and environmental protection. Cheetahs can help restore open forest and grassland ecosystem, conserve biodiversity, and enhance the ecosystem services like water security, carbon sequestration, and soil moisture conservation, benefiting society. It will also lead to enhanced livelihood opportunities for the local community through eco development and ecotourism activities. The government has constituted a task force for 2 years for monitoring cheetahs introduction with the following task: review progress and monitor the health issue status of cheetahs, monitor hunting skill and adaptation of cheetahs to the habitat of Kuno National Park, monitor the release of cheetah from quarantine biomass to soft release enclosures, grassland and open forest areas, open cheetah habitat for ecotourism and suggest regulation in this regard, suggest and advise and developing tourism infrastructure in the fringe areas of Kuno National Park and other protected areas. The Wildlife Protection Act 1972 was enacted by India to provide special legal protection to our wildlife and the endangered species of fauna. And this act has been amended multiple times, the last being in 2020, which has affected the following changes: rationalize the schedule to 2 from 6, remove the schedule for vermin species, inserted a new schedule to increase the number of species protected under Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, empowers the government to regulate or prohibit the import, trade, and possession or proliferation of invasive alien species. And this is done for the today. We will talk about the next topic tomorrow. And thank you so much and keep watching my videos.